You enjoy, along with your wife Stephanie, and I enjoy with my wife Linda, walking down the landing, right?
Yes,
So,
that's a wonderful
some of
experience.
the great places, of course, on the hour, every hour you can hear the fountains. They do their thing with the propane fire shooting out and all that.
And the music, and
Yeah.
it's a wonderful
It is. It's
experience.
a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And one of the places that we really enjoy going, especially on Tuesday, because you and Steph and Linda and I have been there on Tuesday,
Hmm.
is Famous Dave's
Yes,
Barbecue.
sir.
Well, we went a few weeks, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks ago now, and sat down, and a young lady came to my table and said,
Welcome to Famous Dave's. I'm Famous Whitney. How can I help you?
there you go. I'll take the feast on Tuesday because it's $10 off, and it was really good. And I'm cheap. Whitney, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Ozarks.
Good morning.
You did wait on us that night, did a wonderful job, and
Thank you.
that was the first time that I had met you. And then we got to talking, and sometimes, you just the meal and you're there and you're talking with whoever you're with or whatever, but engaged you in some conversation and found out some things about you that we're going to reveal here this morning on the program, and talked about you being here, and here you are. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having us. My sister and I are really excited about being here this morning.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. And Alicia, right? Welcome.
Yes, it's great to be here.
Well, it's good to have you as well. And when they came in, unfortunately, we didn't have a microphone open, but they both spoke. I can't remember now what it was, but exactly the same time, in pitch with each other, so you know your sisters. I used to have a recording studio, and one of the things that I really enjoyed is finding siblings that sang together.
Oh, that harmony, that
Doesn't that
sibling
work
harmony.
great?
Oh,
Isn't
it's
that
great.
super? I'm
Yes.
telling you. So tell me about yourselves. Whitney, you are working at Famous Dave's, but there's a life before that, both you and Alicia. So why don't you tell me a little bit about where you girls are born, grew up, and then we'll talk to Alicia and get her side of the story.
See if they match up.
Yeah, see if they match up. See if she grew up in the same house as you did.
Right. Well, we are originally from Rockford, Illinois, and we grew up there, graduated from high school there, and then we decided that we were going to move to Branson, Missouri.
Now, we being the two of you, or did the whole family?
Well, it was, first of all, it was my father and I that moved down here, and then it was a year later that Alicia was able to move down here, too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we made the move down here, and it was about 2 years after we lived here, our father passed away from cancer, and that's really when we began starting to write our music that you find on the CD, and God really just opened up the songwriting gifting that he's put in us, and we were able to record this CD, and we released it February of this year.
Alicia, in Rockford, Illinois, let's talk about faith for you and your sister. How was that? Did you grow up in a Christian family, or
Yes,
what
we
was faith
did.
like for you?
A Christian family with a musical heritage. God really blessed us. Our father was a pastor for many years, and he had a church, and
In Rockford?
in Rockford, Illinois, yes. And we had grandparents traveling around in Southern Gospel quartets before we were even born. Our parents traveled in a band, a Christian band.
Do you remember any of those groups' names? Either one of you?
It was not the Kingsmen, but the Kinsmen Quartet. And
Kinsmen.
yes,
Oh.
and that was back in the probably 50s and 60s.
Right.
And then the group that our parents traveled on was First Love was theirs, and they were regionally, typically in the Midwest and stuff. But we grew around that atmosphere with music, godly values instilled in us, and we actually had no intention of truly pursuing music other than it being a passion of ours to do in church and different things like that. But God really reawakened that in us, and we discovered a lot of times the dreams that He instills in you as a young child are what He's calling you to do, and we let the world sometimes
Sure.
steer us different ways and say, oh, you can't make money doing that, or you can't, you could never succeed doing that. But God tells us that if I called you, I will qualify you.
Absolutely.
And that's just what, we've discovered is that He laid the foundation for us as young children. And even though there were some times we decided to take different paths,
Sure.
that He never forgot what he called us to do. And he's waiting for anybody really to just discover who they are in him so that he can get to work with the plan that he had for each and every person's life.
Growing up in a Christian family, Dad was a pastor and what have you. Oftentimes that we just take that for granted. Mm-hmm. But speaking with both of you, there was a time when it became not just the family or the grandparents' faith, but it became yours, Alicia's, your faith.
Right.
When did that happen for you? And Whitney, you can think about it because I'll ask you the same question.
Okay. Sometimes, people say that, it was what a blessing that you knew Christ from an early age. And I have to say that it has been because, that verse goes, if you train up a child in the way that they should go, they'll never depart from it. Sure. Was I perfect my whole life? No, by no means. I had my high school years just like many of us had. But I honestly think that foundation that was laid, I could never depart from it because deep down, in my heart, I knew what was right and I knew Christ as my personal Savior. And, the first time our dad was diagnosed with cancer, I was in 8th grade. I was 14. And I think having to go through situations like that in my life, and Whitney can attest to that as well, going through surgeries and different things. I don't know how people do it without God. Amen. And just through that, I just was always adamant about leaning on him because if I didn't have him, I don't know where I would be.
Amen. Go ahead.
I have a question for either one of you young ladies. What was it like for you going through high school as a Christian?
In Rockford, Illinois.
Right.
Yeah. Well, for us, we were really fortunate. We were able to go to a Christian school there. But, just because you're in the Christian circle doesn't mean that's what everybody is doing, Right. And so it's a lot of it is just you have to try and not just go through the motions. Because you're surrounded by the atmosphere, it's like, how do I make this real for me every day? Because a lot of people can say that they're Christians and, but are they really walking it out? And is it really changing their life? Like when your life is transformed, to me, that's the Christian life that I want to have, not just, because we have chapel service or because we go to church. How is God affecting my life every day?
Right. You don't want to just go through the motions.
Right.
When did this faith become yours, Whitney? We talked about having that Christian home, and sometimes kids go along with that, but it never becomes real. But when did it become real for you, or was it always?
Well, like Alicia said, we definitely had that strong foundation in the home, and even though our home life wasn't always, the easiest or the best, even though we did grow up in a Christian home, we did have that foundation, and our parents did love the Lord and serve the Lord. And so I definitely had that foundation, and so I would say that it's always been real to me. But like Alicia said, when we've gone through the hard times and the struggles and the uncertain times, that's when God's felt closest.
He always fills in that when we need him the most. We have talked about a song that we've played a lot on this program by Linda Randall that says he's God on the mountain. And when we go through valleys, it's tough for us sometimes to just hold on to him and his blessings, but it's easy to talk about him when we're on the mountain. But when we're in the valley, but he is that God of the mountain and the God of the valley.
That's absolutely true.
Which one of you is the bigger sister, the older sister? I won't ask you how old, but one of you is older than the other, I assume, unless you're twins. I don't know.
No, Alicia. I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. Okay. How much difference between you two of you?
Well, I'm 21.
Oh, you don't have to say that.
That's okay.
Well, I was going to ask
We're
anyway.
young enough.
I'm 23 and she's 21.
We don't mind.
So
23
2 years.
21.
All right. Well, that's very. Boy, do you remember 21?
Yeah, it was on a
long
jersey.
time ago.
Yeah, it was on a jersey I had.
Yeah, really. A long time ago. Well, you all, Whitney, when we were having a great meal there and talking with you, and you were so pleasant. And by the way, you did everything wonderful. You got the order just right. And thank you so much.
I hope my management's listening to
Yeah,
this.
yeah, hey, yeah. She did great. And We should have got him to bring some coupons. Why
You
weren't
know?
we thinking? Anyway, you did a wonderful job. But in talking with you, I felt your heart and your spirit, and it's just so refreshing anytime that you happen to talk to somebody. And Will, you know this as well. Instant kinship in the faith.
Yes.
And we talked about music, as sometimes it often does because of my background. I get around to music once, and you mentioned that you and your sister sang. And did you start singing early?
Yes, we started singing as soon as we could. Our mom, she would teach us, different songs, and so really, as soon as we started talking, we started singing.
Wow. Well, tell me about this CD then. You mentioned that, and that's what sort of led to where we're here today. And so, and by the way, did you bring any CDs?
Yes, we did bring some CDs.
Could we give one away?
Yeah, we
All right.
could.
We're
a couple
going to,
away.
Got a couple away? All right, great. We are going to play one of the songs, and I want you to tell me all these songs you wrote, right?
Yes.
And was writing music always a part of you, or did you just sit down one day and decide, and how did you collaborate together, or what? How did that come about?
A lot of times, I remember being 12 and just writing in my journal different things, but I never dreamed that they would be something I would share with other people. And that dream was kind of, and that passion was kind of reawakened after losing our father, because it was a way to grieve.
Sure.
And it was a way to cope with the emotions we were going through. And a lot of times, we lived together at that point, is before I was married, and I'd be in my room, and Whitney was just learning how to play the guitar, and she'd be coming up with melodies, and she'd be like, "Do you have any? Is the Lord giving you any words for this melody?" And I'd be like, "Well, let's try." And God would give us the words. God would give us, open, just kind of open that door for the rest of the song to come.
Well, tell me about this first song that we're going to hear.
Yes, this song is called Beauty for My Ashes, and this is actually a song that I wrote. It was only a couple weeks before we were heading to Nashville to record this CD, and the Lord had just kept, just in my mind, it was just beauty for my ashes, beauty for my ashes. And so I started writing and playing the guitar, and the rest of it came. And what was really neat about this song was after we had recorded the CD and it was all done, I was looking in a journal that I had kept from, it was my junior year of high school, and I had been at a church where a pastor had spoken over me and said that the Lord is going to give you beauty for your ashes, and in turn you're going to be able to help give others beauty for their ashes.
Wow.
And I had forgotten that the pastor had spoke that over me, because that was my junior year, and, here I am, 2015, and it was just confirmation, and it was just almost like a fulfillment of the words that pastor had spoken over me.
Wow. Well, let's listen to it here. Beauty for My Ashes. Here's Whitney and Alicia on Good Morning Ozarks with Keith O'Neill and Willie Nash. If you'd like a copy of the CD, be the first one to call 334-5532 or 1-877-334-5532.
There's a war around me. Troubles are surrounding me, trying to take all that I have. But when they take my God gives back. For my ashes, beauty for my ashes. He makes all things new. He makes all things. Beauty for my ashes, beauty for my ashes. He makes all things new. He makes all things new. There is smoke around me. Fire is surrounding me, trying to consume all that I am, all that I am, all that I am. But from the dust, God brings me back. Yeah.
like that. That's Whitney
Great
and
song.
Alicia. Now, when you sing, it's just, I mean, is it Whitney and Alicia? Is there a group name, or what do you?
It's actually backward. Alicia and Whitney. we
I
kept
forgot.
it. We kept
Okay.
it real to us.
Sure.
And easy. So.
Alphabetically correct.
Yeah,
There
and
you go.
age,
And
chronological.
correct. Chronological. I like the CD. Tell me about how it came about for you and who produced this. You did it in Nashville years ago. I had a recording studio here. Would have loved to have had you girls in the studio because I can tell that your songs mean something to you. You did a great job. And so tell me how this came about for you, either one of you.
Yeah, it was a really neat story actually. Like we said, when our dad passed away of cancer in 2013, we just started writing music as just a way to heal through everything and process everything. And I was just learning the guitar, and we had one of our dad's childhood friends come into Branson, him and his wife. His name is Keith Manley, and he wanted to meet together with all of us. So we all met at a friend's house and played the songs for him that we had written. And he just said, wow, these songs need to be recorded, because as a childhood friend of our dad's, he knew that that was always a dream of our dad's, that we would, be able to pursue our music and record and just have something to show for it, And Keith Manley had been in the Christian recording industry for many years, and so he had all the connections. And so he said, if you can raise this amount of money, we can go to Nashville and get you a really good CD.
Sure.
And I'll let Alicia tell how we raised the money for
How
that.
did you do that?
Well, it all started in a living room. A family friend of ours, Debbie Short, she said she felt that the Lord was telling her to prime the pump. And so she primed the pump with giving our first donation. And then Keith Manley, who was also there at the time, he said, well, I'm going to do it too. So he donated,
That's
and
great.
and our granny was sitting in there, and she said, well, I'm going to too. So we raised about $300 of
Awesome.
to start right there in a living room.
That's good.
And
that's sweet.
one of our local churches in Rockford, Illinois, that our dad helped found, they heard about what we were doing, and they funded a huge majority of the rest of the project, and that's how we knew we were going where God wanted us, because He was opening the doors. We weren't pushing them open or trying to.
Sure.
Trying to raise money for it. He provided the kingdom money for his project.
Where is the project available at?
We're available on iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby, most
And
major.
it's called?
It's called Core. Alicia and Whitney Core. Mm-hmm.
All right. Very good. Well, ladies, it's excellent. We're going to talk some more and find out more about what you're doing with your ministry and what have you. However, and Will, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine who's called in this morning, Al Pulis. Good morning, Al.
Good morning, Keith and Willie and Alicia and Whitney.
Now,
Al.
Al, you called in because you want to completely underwrite their next CD, and we're gonna
The next
two CDs. Yeah, actually, Al, you had a reason for calling this morning to participate with us, and I thank you for calling. And what is it?
Well, I do, but first I wanted to say that Alicia and Whitney are classic examples of genetic sync harmony. Beautiful,
Absolutely.
beautiful music.
Yes.
Yeah, they're terrific in that sibling harmony. You cannot create that. God did.
I taught them everything they know, Al.
Yeah.
Right.
You did
You
good.
have an invitation to sing in Tanzania, East Africa, next January, and they're actually making preparations now, and we're trying to help them get their plane fares raised. Right now, fares to East Africa for January are incredibly inexpensive. They both need about $1,000 each, and it'd be great if some folks could chip in and take care of that now while plane fares are so reasonable.
Well, how do we want to do that, Al?
Yes.
We are we having a car wash, or what? Do we just call you, or what? How are we going to do that?
Station or Grace Community, wherever, let them decide.
All right, ladies, you think about that, and that will be coming up in January, right, Al?
Exactly, January 18th.
Hi, my birthday.
Well, very good.
Happy birthday.
Well, you might as well go then on the trip. It's to Tanzania, and Al, you've been certainly involved over there a lot, and we've talked about that. And how did you get involved? How did you make that connection with these two young ladies?
Well, they attend our church. I've heard their music, and they are wonderful to listen to. We want to help them all we can.
Very good. Well,
Praise
super.
God.
All right. Well, Al, thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Bless you.
Have a blessed day.
Al Pulis, who a good friend of the stations, and Charlie and mine here, and going to go to Tanzania. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, we're looking forward just to, what all these opportunities that God's opening up for us. Wherever He wants us to go, we're willing.
Missions has always been a big part of our, our ministry.
Right.
We've been to Honduras 4 times, working with widows and orphans there. And if we are able to go to Tanzania, we'll be ministering to women and empowering women over there. Al Pulis works with a great ministry that ministers to them and helps them get education, jobs, and they're also starting an orphanage up over there.
Wow. So now, you mentioned your church, and I was going to save that one, but that's okay. It's out of the bag now. I also found out that because we had a gentleman who, one of the, should we say, one of the greats in gospel music, Alan Asbury,
Yes.
here on the program, talked about his new CD, and your name came up, and I had known that you were on the praise team over there, right, Whitney? Are both of you?
yeah, we both are.
Okay, you're both. All right. So you are over there with Alan, and of course Kim and Gary and all of them do the Sunday night gospel music. Well, that was the one I was telling you about that we're going to see about you and Stephanie joining Linda and I a week from Sunday, because
yes.
they do it every other Sunday.
Yes.
So, but you're both on the praise team over there singing along with Alan and some other folks, right?
Yes, it's such a privilege to be working alongside Alan Asbury, and our pastor David Betzer is a great leader, great pastor to learn under, and just having so many musically talented people in that church to learn from, and it's just a great experience over there.
You don't find a finer one than Alan.
That's
You used the word talented, and having been in this town for as long as I have, it's so easy for those of us who are musicians to say, "Man, you're very talented," but when God gives you something like He's given to you ladies, it's anointed. You're very anointed.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And so you are both there each Sunday as part of the praise team, are you?
We alternate. We'll actually both be on the praise team this Sunday
Really?
morning.
Okay.
Yeah, it worked
What time
out.
service?
We have a 9:00 service and then 10:30.
Very good. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that is great. And don't forget the CD. We had a call on the CD, so it's gone. And if you got Will's
Awesome.
copy, you can give it to him as he goes out the door. I've got my copy out over there in the CD player. But you girls do a great job. And in
Yes,
the
you
next
do.
half hour, and Will, you got to slip out for a rehearsal.
Yeah, I've got a
So we're going to
rehearsal.
let you go.
Thank you, sir.
But you are going to be downtown today. With the Platters, right? At
Yes,
what time?
at Hot Hits at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and tomorrow afternoon from 3 to 5, I'll be at Treasure Lake, me and my 4-piece band. We call it the Sons of Thunder, and I have a female drummer.
Oh, good. Yeah, and she's
if you
great.
and she's great. And if you get caught up in that Sons of Thunder with the female drummer, you're going to miss what we're doing.
Well, it's sure glad that you were able to be here with us this morning.
So am I.
Yeah, thank you so much. And you come back again. When Charlie takes another day off, we'll have you come back.
I shall. I will
All right,
do that.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, and we'll let you slip out, and thank you so much. Well,
God
ladies,
bless all of you.
Ladies, stick around with us if you can. We're going to talk about another song. When I heard the CD, there was one song that stuck out in my mind, and I would like to play it coming up next, all right? We'll be back with Whitney and Alicia in just a moment on Good Morning Ozarks, so you stay with us. Welcome to the 8 o'clock half hour of Good Morning Ozarks. Keith O'Neill and Willie Nash with you this morning. Willie slipped out a little bit early to go to rehearsal. As he mentioned, he'll be out at Treasure Lake tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and he's got to polish up things, make sure you're going to, everybody knows the right place to go. Now, Whitney and Alicia in the last half hour have been with us, and they decided to stick around so we can play some more of their music and talk with them some more. But if you missed the last half hour, to get all the story, go to to klfcradio.com later today and listen to the podcast. And ladies, your CD is now available on iTunes and other places, right?
Yes.
And also, do you all have a website? In the last half hour, we also mentioned that you're trying to raise money now to go to Tanzania in January. Will you be singing? Al Pulis involved in that and was with us on the phone a minute ago. But do you have a website?
Yes, we do. It's aliciaandwhitney.com.
Okay. And on that site, what will we find?
We have a place where you can purchase our music. We have a blog there, some videos that we've made, as well as upcoming concert dates and different things like that. And all of our contact information is on there too, if anybody needs contact.
And if somebody would like to help the Tanzania trip come to pass monetarily, they can find that information there, right?
Yeah, and our P.O. Box address is on there too. So.
Okay. You mentioned concert dates. Do you have any outside of certainly Grace Community that you're going to be at?
Yes, we don't have any in the local area right now, but we're going to be in Bridgeport, Illinois at the end of this month, and we'll be in Oklahoma. We actually will be in Orlando, Florida, leading worship at a conference there next week. So God's opening up some amazing doors, and we're really excited about that.
Well, as you should be, because, boy, when you have a passion for what you do, and both of you do, when you feel the Lord is guiding you, which he certainly is, and then you see those doors come open, it's just thrilling to see how God works in your life and fulfills your ministry in a way that points all to him.
That's right.
And it's all about him.
That's
we can
right.
sit here and talk about the music. We can talk about your lives. We can talk about Famous Dave's barbecue, all that kind of. Which, by the way, those ribs are good.
Yeah.
You did a great job. And but all of that pales when we start talking about why are we doing this. Mm-hmm. And why do we sing? Why do we write these songs? Why do we record the CD? And it's not just so that we can have a CD and share with our friends.
That's
Which
right.
one of you wants to tell us why you do it?
You know, we just hope everything we do in our life is pointing to God and Jesus and what he's done in our lives. We could have gone many different paths after going through some of the things we've gone through in our lives, but because of Jesus and what he did for us on the cross in redeeming us, and not only that, but being a personal God. He's not a God that's throwing down lightning and thunder at you. He's a relational God, and your deepest hurts, your deepest fears, your deepest concerns, he cares about all of those. And really, our ministry is for, oftentimes we feel it's for broken people, people who feel discouraged, who don't really know what their purpose in life is, and we want to redirect them to the purpose giver. And we want to, in everything we do, we want to redirect it to him. And because without him, you can plan, you can try to push open doors all you want, but without his blessing and without his favor on it, you're just going to go in circles. And that's just one thing in our ministry that we are always trying to do, is to get people back to the core of who they are. And the only way to get back to the core of who you are is to go to the Maker. And so that's what we hope to do.
And you know what's exciting to me, of course, what you said, getting back to the core and getting back to the Maker, that's really exciting. But what also encourages me and makes me just inside jump for joy, you girls are in your 20s. And today, your age group is just drifting away from the faith by droves because of all the stuff society throws at you. And it's very, very difficult. I remember when I was in my 20s, things were not as crazy, and there weren't so many pulls. Of course, Satan's always been around to steal and destroy. Right. But it seems like today that young people just really have a difficult time hearing, believing, knowing, and walking in the truth. And so what's exciting for me is that you're not in your 60s, 70s, and what have you, but you're in your 20s. And that, to me, is exciting, along with what you're talking about. Can I talk about the song that meant a lot to me, and I could tell by listening there was more than just words and music to it?
Yes.
Daddy Save the Dance for Me. Tell me about that song, and I know from what you've said it probably came out after your pop passed away, because it sounds like both of you girls real close to Dad, and the loss of a loved one is difficult for all of us. And you talked about your ministry, talking to folks that maybe you're going through it. I imagine you went through it. Who wants to tell me how that came about, and then how this song came about?
I'll let Alicia tell that story.
All right.
Okay. It was about a month after we had lost our dad, and after losing someone like that, you often have a lot of sleepless nights looking through pictures and reliving, memories and things like that. And
Was his illness, he died from cancer, right?
Yes.
Was it long? Was there a long time between the diagnosis and his passing, or was it fairly quick?
It was
how
pretty
did
sudden, yes.
So it wasn't something you had a long time
Right,
to
it
prepare
was a
for.
shock, yeah. And I was just pondering. I had just gotten engaged, and I was going to be getting married in that next July. And I was pondering what life would be like and what my wedding day would be like without my father there. As a little girl, you dream of your wedding, and you dream of your daddy-daughter dance, and you dream of him walking you down the aisle and giving you away. And I was thinking about all the stuff that he would miss out on. But the first line of the song is, "You left so soon, finished your work early, went on home, but I wouldn't wish you back 'cause I know where you've gone." And I couldn't wish my dad back, because where he's at right now, there's no pain, there's no sickness, there's no heartache, and he's rejoicing with Jesus in heaven.
Amen.
So, but what I could say was, until I see you again, Daddy, save a dance for me.
Wow. Well, let's listen. Alicia and Whitney on Good Morning Ozarks. Daddy, save the dance for me. You listen and see if you hear in it what I heard in it.
You left so soon, finished your work early and went on home. And oh, how I miss you, but I wouldn't wish you back, 'cause I know where you've gone. I can picture it now, your family's everywhere. You run into Jesus, music filling the air, and you can't stop yourself from dancing in victory. But I have a one request, Daddy, save a dance for me. Your life was hard, struggled many steps along the way. Now you're in Jesus' arms, and he's saying, well done, son, rest. Now you're saved. I can picture it now, your family's everywhere. You run into Jesus, music filling the air, and you can't stop yourself from dancing in victory. But I have a one request, Daddy, save a dance for me. Oh, and I can't wait to be with you in glory, to laugh and shout and praise God for our stories. But there is just one thing I can't wait to do. before our God and King with you. And here I am in my white dress, walking down the aisle in so much joy. But you were on my heart and on my mind. I can picture it now. You're looking down happily, telling everybody how proud you are of me. So just for this once, Daddy, I'll take this one so long. But you're saving one for me, and oh, Daddy, save a dance for me. Oh, I have one request, Daddy, save a dance for me.
Wow. Having come out of Father's Day a few months ago, Daddy saved a dance for me. Alicia, great job on that.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And you've had situations where in performing that or people hearing that, you mentioned that it speaks to a lot of folks. Because you know what? One thing is for sure about all of us. We all had a mom and a dad.
Right.
And some of us are closer to our dads than other people, and I realize that. And you girls have certainly were close to your dad, taken far too early.
Yeah.
And you miss him. But what a great song to come out of a tragedy.
Yes.
And Alicia, nice job. Nice job on that. I like
Thank
it.
you.
You said that's up on YouTube, so folks can go and find it. And Whitney, I understand you kind of put together some photos and what have you. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I put together a little music video for the song, and it has pictures primarily of Alicia and my dad, because I wanted to make it for her wedding in place of the daddy-daughter dance. So you can check it out. It's on YouTube and on our Facebook page and on our website. And we released it about a week before Father's Day. And between Facebook and YouTube, it got over 20,000 views.
Wow.
So
We were blown away by some of the comments. Strangers were sharing it, obviously, and a lot of them were saying, I was really having a tough week, and this song exemplifies everything I've been feeling.
Wow.
And when you turn your hurt and your deepest hurts and pain and you give it to God to make it into something beautiful, you can touch so many lives. And that's what I'm really thankful to God for about this song is he turned, beauty from my ashes, He truly did. And it's being able to help other girls who have lost their fathers or even experienced any kind of hurt. You can insert any name in there. Mama, save a dance for me.
Sure.
And
Husband,
exactly,
wife,
Right.
exactly.
child, whatever.
And so I actually had a older lady at our church who had been married for 50, 60 years and had just recently lost her husband. And she said, whenever I listen to that song, I just enter my husband's name in there because I can't wait to dance with him in heaven again.
Wow. Amen. Now tell me, you played it at the wedding probably?
Yeah, it was meant to.
Everybody had to cry on that
It
one.
was actually meant to be played at the wedding, but with technical difficulties, we weren't able to.
okay.
But I think God was reserving it for
Sure.
something different, and to have it showcased and on such a broader scale and 20,000 views, and I think God wanted it to be recognized in a bigger way
Absolutely.
to honor him. So.
Well, I agree. We're going to play another tune from the CD, and by the way, we will have another couple to give away, so you stay tuned for that. Whitney and Alicia, or Alicia and Whitney, I guess I should go
Alicia
along
and
with what the
Whitney.
CD is. But I met her first.
Yeah, I know
And
it.
she brought the ribs to the table.
Right.
Hey, Alicia, if you'd have been there, see, you should have been there. Anyway, we're going to continue in just a moment on Good Morning Ozarks with these two young ladies. And what a great job. Check that out on YouTube. See the video that goes along with it. And very, very good. We'll be back in just a moment with another tune from the CD and your opportunity to win one. 8:18, Good Morning Ozarks on the 3rd of July. Can you believe it's already July? We are talking with Alicia and Whitney, and they've got a new CD. And ladies, you called it?
Core.
All right. And it's available on iTunes, all over the place, your website. We're going to put a link on our klfcradio.com website so that folks can find you easier. And I would assume, now I'm going to go out on a limb here as your temporary agent, that if there's a church, a ladies group, any kind of gathering that you would fit into, they are certainly welcome to go to your website and get you to come and minister at their facility and for their group, correct?
Yes, we would love for you to contact us.
Very good. And you say that you are going to be in Orlando doing a women's conference or something there and some other things?
It's actually a health conference out
Really?
there, and they have a Sunday morning service,
Oh, good.
and we'll be leading worship for that, for
Oh,
the
that's
people
great.
that are choosing, to be a part of that. So.
And you're both on the worship team at Grace Community Assembly here in Branson?
Yes.
And you're in the pizza place out there. Have they found the pizza oven out there yet? That's what I want to know. Alan didn't bring us any pizza.
It's back there, yeah.
It's back there somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Well, Alan Asbury and the rest of the folks out at Grace, and I'm sure you too, Lynn, just a wonderful presence to that worship team. So
Thank you.
it's a pleasure to be able to sit here with you and listen to your music. You've got another song on the CD, and by the way, when you hear the music start, we'll take the first 2 callers, give 2 away if you would like to make it part of your library, but when the music starts. But tell me about this last song we're going to hear.
Yes, this last song is another song where God had given me a melody on the guitar, and I took it into Alicia, and we had just a late night writing session when we lived together. But this song is called You Call Me So Much More. And as Alicia had mentioned before, a lot of times, when we're kids, we have an idea of, well, I'd like to do this, or I'd like to be this, but as we get older, sometimes we get jaded, or sometimes, the world tells us we can't do this, or we make mistakes and take another path, and we wind up as adults, saying, well, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy. How could God love me? Or, how could I ever amount to anything? Sure. And in this song, God just spoke to our hearts and said, that's not how I see you. I see you as so much more. And God just started listing off, I call you beautiful. I call you worthy. I call you pure. And that is such a switch to how a lot of Christians think of God, because we think, oh, he's in the sky wanting to zap us, or he doesn't love us. But God loves us so much, and he doesn't see us how we see ourselves or how the world sees us, but he sees us as so much more.
Wow, I like the story behind that, and I'm looking forward to the song. Here's Alicia and Whitney, and so much more. If you'd like the CD, call 334-5532. First 2 callers, you get them.
When I look at me, I see the stain sin has left. All my insecurities are exposed, and I feel helpless. Then, Lord, you remind me that I am your creation, and I'm not just what I see. I am all you envision. You call judge me by my past, and their words pierce me, make me feel so worthless. Then, Lord, you remind me that I am your creation, and I'm not what they call me. I am all you envision. You call me perfect. You call me sanctified. You call me beautiful. You call me worthy. You call me pure. Yes, you call me so much And Lord, you created me, but people label me till I don't know who I am anymore. Then your arms surround me, and your love confirms me. Yeah, 'cause you call me so much more. And Lord, you created me, but people label me till I don't know who I am anymore. Then your arms surround me, and your love confirms me. Yeah, 'cause you call me so much more. Yeah, you call me so much more.
Alicia and Whitney. Oh, so much more. Isn't it incredible that God sees us totally different than we see ourselves?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, ladies, this has been fun. It's
Yeah,
been
it has.
great. I want to keep up with your progress. Let us know how things go with your ministry, and I'm sure we'll hear if you, by the way, are plugged into any group that would like to have these ladies. Women's groups, church services, what have you. They're in the process of trying to raise money to go to Tanzania. That comes up in January, and as Al Pulis mentioned in the last half hour, that's something that you're undertaking right now, right? They can find out about information on that on your website.
Yes.
Now, you've been on some mission trips before,
Yes.
and where did you go?
We went to Honduras.
How'd you like that?
We liked it a lot.
Loved it,
Yeah,
yeah.
we want to go back. We miss it a lot.
I would imagine. My wife has taken some mission trips and really loved it. And, well, you know, when you see what's going on and how hungry people are in parts of the world for the gospel,
Right.
It just kind of does something to you inside. And it says, yeah, I'm doing what I need to be doing.
Yes.
And you girls are doing what you need to be doing. A great CD. Give us the website again.
AliciaandWhitney.com.
And on YouTube, you can see the Daddy Save dance for me along the video that you put together,
Yes.
Whitney. Very good. Super. Good job. You're in the praise team over at Grace Community Assembly on Sunday mornings?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, with Alan Asbury and a few other talented folks.
Yes.
Great job. Well, good. Keep in touch with us, and our best to you. Thank you for sharing your story this morning. And just to think, Whitney, it all started one evening at Famous Dave's when you walked up and said,
Welcome to Famous Dave's. I'm Famous Whitney. How can I help you?
there you go. Well, very good. Thanks, girls, and good job. There's some other songs I'm sure that we could talk about, and they all have a story on the CD,
Yes.
right? I mean,
Yes.
it's incredible. All right, Whitney, what's it going to be like tonight? 6 o'clock down there at the Landing. You guys are not right at the fountain. You're on down a little bit, but it's going to be nuts, huh?
Right, it's going to be crazy down there. A lot of people, but they have a great fireworks show. They always have a great, music show down there, so it's definitely worth coming out and seeing.
Denver and Mile High Orchestra, Springfield Symphony, and Sandy, Patty, and
Yes.
Dino. That will be
Great.
wonderful.
Yes, it'll be a great show.
Thanks, ladies. Appreciate you very much. Alicia and Whitney.